Top of the morning to you on the 6th of May. I guess 6 de Mayo just doesn't have quite the same ring to it. This is SBJ senior writer Joe Lemire bringing you the Morning Buzzcast, as I wonder how my invitation to the Met Gala got lost in the mail again. Numerous athletes did appear, however, and this year's theme celebrated Black style. LeBron James was a co-chair of the gala, but unfortunately was unable to attend due to his recent knee injury. F1 driver Lewis Hamilton was one of the other co-chairs and was there, as were other committee members, WNBA star Angel Reese, Olympic gymnastics great Simone Biles and her husband, Bears safety Jonathan Owens, Olympic sprinter Sha'Carri Richardson, also attending Serena and Venus Williams, Dwayne Wade, Saquon Barkley, Breanna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, Joe Burrow, Noah Lyles, Gabby Thomas, Justin Jefferson, Russell Wilson. Joe Lemire would fit right in, no? Well, consider Force, our annual conference on the blend of sports, entertainment, fashion, and culture, to be my tryout. Come join us in 2 weeks in New York City and give me a fit check. In other news, giving a whole new meaning to the phrase draft capital, the NFL formally announced that its 2027 NFL draft would indeed be held on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. President Trump appeared alongside Commissioner Roger Goodell, Commanders owner Josh Harris, and D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser in making the announcement. This will be the first NFL draft in D.C. since 1941. That was a quarter century before the first Super Bowl, and at a time when the entire event could be held at the Willard Hotel, as opposed to last month when 600,000 people flooded Green Bay for the 3 days of this year's draft. Goodell and Harris both said on Monday that they expect more than 1 million to attend the 2027 draft on the Mall. The annual selection show has been a traveling act since 2015, with Pittsburgh already scheduled to host next year's draft. Also of note at the intersection of politics and football is this concerning budgetary item. ESPN reported that the Trump administration's proposed 2026 fiscal budget will eliminate federal funding for traumatic brain injury research and education. While Congress must approve the budget and thus could amend this proposal, brain injury research is in danger of being cut, with ESPN noting that all 5 CDC staffers overseeing the program were placed on paid administrative leave back on April 1st. The youth and high school-oriented Heads Up program, which provides training for a 5-step tackling technique to minimize head impact, could potentially be disbanded. 45 of the 50 U.S. states participate at some level in that program. The Wall Street Journal reported that Trump has also instructed aides to explore a possible executive order related to NIL, although Steve Berman, an attorney representing current and former college athletes, described such a plan as, quote, unmerited and unhelpful, as the $2.8 billion House versus NCAA settlement approaches approval. The NHL reportedly will not hold its traditional All-Star weekend next February, according to the Associated Press, and instead will stage an internationally focused hockey event instead of the originally scheduled midseason exhibition at UBS Arena, home of the New York Islanders. Commissioner Gary Bettman has said a number of times that it wouldn't be a straightforward All-Star game, and instead would resemble more of a Winter Olympics kickoff event, as Milan Cortina will start soon thereafter, with NHL players returning to the games for the first time since 2014. New York Governor Kathy Hochul shared her disappointment with the decision on Monday, indicating that she wrote Bettman a letter to say the state should have been consulted and that she hopes an event with similar economic and cultural activity will be staged at UBS Arena in 2027 instead. In brighter news for the Islanders, they landed the number 1 overall pick in this summer's NHL draft. It was the first time in the 30-year history of the draft lottery that it was televised live in studio, with the proceedings taking place at NHL Network's Secaucus, New Jersey location. In the past, the actual lottery was held in an office before coverage aired and only shown in a video posted later to YouTube for transparency's sake. This time, the ping pong balls, creating the 4-digit numbers, were selected live, adding a bit of drama and interest. The Islanders had only the 10th best chance at landing the top pick, a 3.5% chance, but grabbed the selection for the first time since they selected John Tavares number 1 overall in 2009. The Sharks had the best chance for the number 1 pick, but ended up at number 2. The Blackhawks will pick 3rd, and Utah will select 4th. And a few quick hitters to end on. John Gruden, who resigned as head coach of the Raiders in 2021, is returning to pro football as part owner and team advisor for the Nashville Cats of the Arena Football One League. Former Titans coach Jeff Fisher is also in the ownership group and serves as team president. John Gruden's brother Jay Gruden is an arena legend with 6 league titles, 4 as a player and 2 as a coach. FanDuel Sports Network has reached 650,000 paid subscriber for its in-market direct-to-consumer streaming business, with a projection of reaching 1 million by year's end for its 15 networks, carrying 30 MLB, NBA, and NHL teams. It has been averaging 250,000 unique daily users, with viewers about 12 years younger on average than the linear cable audience. The College Football Playoff Management Committee has appointed Nebraska Athletic Director Troy Dannon and former Kansas AD and longtime college administrator Jeff Long to the CFP Selection Committee. The UFL Board of Directors ratified its first CBA with the United Football Players Association on Monday. Our Ben Fisher writes that players receive a raise of about 5% and, crucially, also now have year-round health insurance coverage. Full season salaries are about $62,000. The Baltimore Ravens released kicker Justin Tucker less than 2 weeks after drafting a new kicker. The Ravens described it as a football decision rather than referring to the allegations of inappropriate sexual behavior by massage therapists. Tucker has denied the accusations from more than a dozen therapists. In a feel-good note from the aftermath of the terrible California wildfires, legendary U.S. Olympic swimmer Gary Hall Jr., whom I had the pleasure of interviewing a couple years ago about his later foray into medtech, lost his Pacific Palisades home and all 10 of his Olympic medals, but the IOC created replicas, and President Thomas Bach personally presented him the medals on Monday, a wonderful gesture from the IOC. That's all from me today. I'll be back behind the mic on Thursday morning. Until then, do what Austin said yesterday about making good choices. This is Joe Lemire signing off on the Morning Buzzcast. Have a great Tuesday.